Hey everybody, I'm Rousseau and I do a little work here and there. You're watching another episode of Raconteur Weekly, and it looks like this week we're going with a theme. We're talking about dice. You know, I thought about what I was talking about the orthodox, the unorthodox dice mechanics, and I thought, you know, this really is something that needs to be looked into a little bit more. It was sort of a light research episode, but I had to dig pretty deep to get any sort of useful information. It's mostly because of misinformation that's floating around, like how do you read percentile D10s? I know how to do it, I'm not going to say it now, since that would probably start a flame war in the comments. But yeah, you know, I thought I should start customizing some dice, maybe make some dice for situations that actually show up, maybe make some dice that I don't know why you'd use them. So first up, something I'm going to show in a video later this week. I filmed most of it, just need some glamour shots at this point, but I took some of my Magic the Gathering turn down dice, which are basically useless for everything, and I quickly made this set of dice. It's a little weird, it's 2 D20s, sort of percentile, really I'd say it's like a D105, really like 106. So you'll notice the first die is numbered in 5s, from 5 to 100. Basically everything on a D20 multiplied by 5. And the second die is sort of a bell curve. It goes from -5 to +5. So anything absolute to 5 or 4 is on there once. Everything absolute to 1, 2, or 3 is on there twice. And then there are 4 zeros. So you roll the 2 dice together, 20% of the time you get the value that's on what I guess you'd call the larger of the 2 dice, the more traditional of the 2 dice. And the net result of this is that you can get a result from 0 to 105. The least likely results are, of course, 0 and 105. Everything else is about as likely. You go from 0.25% chance for 0, 1, 104, and 105 to maybe 1.25% chance for most of the numbers that are on this die, the more standard of the 2 dice. Other than the numbers on the end, you are least likely to get numbers that are directly adjacent to the numbers that are on the die going to 100. So numbers like 59, or 61, or 64, or 66, things like that. But the difference there is like 0.5%. And really, if you were using a D20 already, you got 5% jumps. It's not that bad, and it's kind of interesting because, you know, as a replacement for a percentage die, you know, like the 2 D10s, you can get both 0 and 100, and there's 5 numbers over 100, so it's sort of like a critical hit is built in. I don't know, I just thought it was interesting. So at the end of the week, should have a video showing you how I made this from existing dice. It really wasn't that difficult. Just put some milliput or green stuff in, do a little bit of sanding, and then paint it. I mean, you could probably make the numbers look better than this, but I did it real quick. Of course, you probably read the title, and you're wondering what that's about. Well, after some extended thought on my last research topic, I've decided I am going to go through die by die and discuss at least all the dice that I have, the different dice. Maybe make some extra dice, like I did here, talk about the percentages, talk about all sorts of stuff, but one die at a time, because then I think, you know, I'll be able to go into a lot more detail. So maybe I'll do one of those every other week. We'll see how it goes. Eventually I'm going to run out of dice, and then that will be that. Oh, and of course, as noted, the title of that new show will be Research What Must Die, which I know, pretty metal. It's got that echo to it. Still working on a title card. We'll see what it looks like. It'll probably have a lot of camera shake. Anyway, that's pretty much it for today. Talk about dice a little bit more, announce a new show, so check and check. Until next time, you've been watching Raconteur Weekly on Rousseau Works, and I am Rousseau, out.